This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Good opening. Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, August 27th. I'm Tori here with the brother and never wanted, Jeffrey.
Hello, me lady.
Hello, monsieur.
We were talking a little bit about medieval times. So
it was a good
that's
time.
Where that stemmed from.
It did, with the old...
It might not have worked for the audience, but...
It worked for us. It's perfect. Lindsay joins us from home. Hello, my lady. She just shakes her
Listen,
head.
I was completely lost, so I'm glad you guys broke that down for me.
We were in Game of Thrones for a second. We apologize. We do want to get straight and switch gears here. We know we have a lot of viewers right now in Louisiana and Texas. So straight off the bat, we need to start talking about Hurricane Laura. This powerful storm made landfall near Cameron, Louisiana last night as a Category 4 storm with top sustained winds of 150 miles per hour and a storm surge that could reach 30 miles inland. Now, so far, at the time of this taping, there has been one death reported. A 14-year-old girl was killed when a tree fell on her home. Hurricane Laura at this point has been now downgraded to a Category 1 storm and is now headed towards Arkansas. I'm just going to say 2020, you are making things rough. Pandemic, hurricanes, wildfires, murder hornets. Now there's something like a lanternfly. Lindsay, how do you feel about what's going on?
Well, my partner Colin, his whole family is from Beaumont, Texas, which was right in the path of the storm. So they all evacuated this whole week. And the scariest thing was that for people that are the people that will want to stay put and not want to evacuate, I know a lot of the leaders were saying, we're not coming back to get anybody. We're not putting our officials in danger. So please evacuate. Or some even said, put your social security number in your pocket, and that's how we'll find you if worse comes to worse. So it's always scary when you live in those areas that are ridden by hurricanes and things like this. But I'm hoping that it just, like you said, is scaled down a bit and just continues to scale down.
Yeah, and if you do have pets, Red Cross isn't accepting people with pets, but redrover.org is. Jeffrey, how do you feel about all this?
You know what's concerning to me, Tori, not only all the things that you mentioned earlier, is just how desensitized we are as Americans.
Yeah. I'm
sitting on the couch and talking about the pandemic, then there's 3 days of looting and California's on fire, and I go to my social media and there's pictures of people's cats, and it's just weird. Even myself, I change the channel, let's watch something else, and it's like how desensitized we are to everything that's going on in America, and then having an election year on top of it.
Yeah.
It really hit home for me yesterday. Not that it hasn't in the past, but it was like, wow, how lucky am I to be where I'm at with all these problems going on? And it's not that I'm not thinking about all the other problems, it's that I took a second to think about myself and my family and how grateful I am for my life. Not to say everything else going on I'm not concerned about.
Right, and the empathy we have for those who are in that situation. We did just get an update, guys, Jeff and Lindsay. There are now 3 deaths that have been reported because of Hurricane Laura. They are all in Louisiana. So we are thinking of all of you. We really are, as the time of our taping right now. Moving gears here, federal investigators have now launched a civil rights probe into the shooting of Jacob Blake. So let's tell the story. Last night in Kenosha, protests continued, but according to local reports, they remain largely peaceful, even hours past curfew. Meantime, I'm sure you all heard that sports teams, including the Milwaukee Bucks, boycotted, I'd like to replace that with the word strike, their playoff game last night in protest over Blake's death. Here are the Orlando Magic players leaving the court prior to the game. The NBA ended up calling off all of last night's game. Major League Baseball also followed along, postponing 2 games. Inside the NBA, analyst and former NBA player Kenny Smith, I watched this live, walked off the set last night in solidarity with the players. But I want you to hear especially what Clippers coach Doc Rivers said last night. It hits my heart. Take a look.
It's amazing to me why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back. My dad was a cop. I believe in good cops. We're not trying to defund the police and take all their money away. We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else.
Wow. The Los Angeles Lakers, as well as the Clippers, reportedly both voted to strike the remainder of the NBA season. But this morning, the NBA players have decided to resume the playoffs, according to ESPN. I want to get to your guys' opinion, but before we do that, I just want to quickly say the reason they're doing that, because a lot of people have been asking, how does this relate to Jacob Blake and Black Lives Matter, is twofold. One, a lot of them are black men, and they had overwhelming responses. And two, the leverage they have is to not play, and that affects their white owners, a lot of the rich owners, and a lot of the people that schmooze with district attorneys in that area. Jeff, you and I had a long talk. Tell me what you're thinking, too.
Well, that was my question to you. I mean, you kind of answered it already before I asked it, right?
Yeah.
So, Lindsay, we've had this talk, Lindsay, and I don't want someone of color to explain something to me. So if I make you feel uncomfortable, if I come off being racist, just tell me. You know what I mean? I could take a word. I'd rather have a conversation.
Jeff,
I'd rather have a conversation than someone question where my motives are coming from. So I want to be very specific on how I talk on live TV, right? I don't get the connection. Listen, first of all, I want to say Doc Rivers, Chicago ties, great guy. I've loved him for a long time. I even think my mom did jury duty with him, with his wife one time. You remember that, Ma? I went to a weird place. Anyways, I don't get the tie. I think having the messages, Breonna Taylor, Black Lives Matter, on the back of their jerseys, having those conversations at home with your son, with your friend, instead of walking, I don't get the connection why the boycott leads to better policing. Am I missing something there, Lindsay? And if I am, call me an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot, but I think that you're missing a huge point. So let's just start with the fact that two people were killed at Black Lives Matter peaceful protest in around Milwaukee, which is why the Bucks decided to take the first stance. They said we're not playing and celebrating. We're not celebrating as black people this instance when a white man just walked in and a peaceful protest and killed two people that were supporting Black lives, and nothing was done. He went to bed and had his sleep that night and got arrested the next day. Mind you, in Cleveland, Tamir Rice had a toy gun in his hand and was killed by police, murdered by police, and he was 12 years old. So that's the big difference, and that's the problem in our country, because we can continue to watch sports and say black people are good as athletes, are good as entertainers, but they're not good as human beings. So outside of those capacities, we don't respect people. And so that's why I think when you tell owners, we're taking money out of your pocket, we are taking money out of the network's pockets, and everybody who schmoozes, like Tori was saying, with local and federal officials. For example, Robert Kraft, he's very public about being good friends with President Trump. So you can directly affect legislation. And so saying that Black Lives Matter, having your league be able to wear names on their back, that's all fine and dandy. But how about going down to the people that you break bread with and have dinner with and telling them exactly what laws you need in place and affecting legislation, donating money to real causes that will save black lives? Because outside of these players playing basketball, they have friends and families that actually are in danger of being killed by police or pedestrians that are racist. And so that's a real problem that we all have to deal with. In the same way that I sit here on television and have dialogue with you guys, I have a little brother that literally had an incident very similar and luckily didn't die with the police in the last couple of months. And so as much as this is a leisure, and you said we're all lucky to be doing this, and NBA players are lucky to be millionaires and doing those things, every day they have to deal with their friends and family that are not famous, dealing with a different lifestyle and sitting in that and knowing that they could die just for doing regular life things like walking to their car or like breaking up a domestic dispute or like running around a neighborhood. I'm naming all things that happened this year where black people died for doing nothing and being unarmed. And that's not okay. When you're taking a stance, you're kneeling, you're doing everything that you can in these leagues to say you want attention and justice for black people, and that's not working. And your owners are largely silent when they have the power and authority to do much more. So don't ask why people are not playing. Don't ask why people are kneeling. Ask why owners are not doing much more.
I think your message to me explained way more than walking off a basketball court, because now I'm kind of getting the deeper issue of what you're talking about. Again, Lindsay, I'm sorry I'm ignorant, but I'm trying to speak for the ignorant people, I guess, in America.
You're coming from a different point of view, and Lindsay and you were having a discussion.
But I'd much rather talk about this on TV, Lindsay, as strange as that sounds, than over a text message or over a tweet like the rest of America is doing, because you get a lot more information that's coming in and out, having this dialogue, than just trying to flame the fires on social media.
But perhaps, and we do have to go, and we'll come back and have more.
But I think you have to look at people as humans in totality, right? In the same way that I look at you, Jeff, as a father, and so many other things outside of a television host. These are basketball players that are many other things, that have family members that are being threatened on a daily basis because of the color of their skin. So that's why we have to look at the reason why they boycotted as an overall message to save black people's lives.
And
beautiful, Lindsay.
And maybe the strike helped bring up this conversation, which was wonderful. Lindsay, stick around. Coming up on DBL, our medical medical pro Dr. Pyle Coley is schooling us on the coronavirus. It's a segment you never want to miss. Plus, Katy Perry finally gives birth, and we've got a first little glimpse of the baby girl. And let's take a swing around the studio. Most of our employees are working from home during the pandemic. We can't thank them enough. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Yesterday, we told you about the new CDC guidelines for people who want to get tested after possible exposure to COVID. Why am I doing that?
I was helping you out.
It was like a papyrus scroll. Today, we're taking a deep dive into these changes with our own medical expert in Sky Blue, Dr. Pyle Coley. Welcome, doctor. How are you this morning?
I'm lovely. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Doctor, with all your medical experience, what's a papaya scroll?
Papyrus. It's a type of paper.
Sorry, let's get to the important stuff.
So a quick recap. The new guidelines recommend a test only if you have symptoms previously. The CDC recommended anyone with a close contact with infected people should get tested. Now, the changes are not sitting well with Fauci, who was in surgery when the changes were announced. So, Dr. Coley, what do you make of these new guidelines? Have at it. The floor is yours.
So in my opinion, this seems like a huge mistake and a huge step backwards. It really feels like we're making the same mistake that we made back in March. And back in March, that mistake was justified because we didn't know how the virus spreads. Now, 6 months later, we know that 40% of the people spreading this virus are asymptomatic. And 50% of the people spreading this virus are spreading it before they develop symptoms. So having a symptom-guided approach to testing makes absolutely no sense because it's going to be really difficult to contain the virus. So I know you guys love my analogies, so I have a good one for this. It's sort of like fighting a fire with a blindfold on and you don't know where the flames are because you're not testing and looking. So it's impossible to fight that fire. And to be honest, you guys, it makes me wonder if we're trying to make the numbers look better before November.
I was wondering that too.
Great analogy, I get it. Can you break down how these changes impact everyday people? If our testing numbers change, will that impact how quickly we reopen places like college campuses?
It's going to have a huge impact on our everyday lives, Jeff. And you know, remember a few weeks ago, you and me and Tori were going to go to that hypothetical dinner.
Yeah.
We were all going to get tested before we went to have dinner.
We went.
Guess what?
We went.
That
Don't
dinner
tell
just
Tori.
got a...
I'm there.
You went without me?
No.
Oh, I thought you guys went without me.
No, me and you, Doc. Never mind. I was just trying to make Tori feel insecure. I succeeded, but now it's weird.
It's a win. It's a win.
Sorry, go ahead, Doctor.
So I'm just saying that our hypothetical dinner just got a whole lot less safer because we've taken away testing, which is such an important tool to get our lives back to normal more safely. And by taking away testing, we're going to do a number of things. One is we're going to make it much harder to track the disease, so that metrics like positivity become less relevant. Second, contact tracing is going to be much harder. So if you think about college campuses, that's a critical way because they're having those parties to figure out who's going to get infected. Third, identifying and containing outbreaks is going to be very challenging. This is very important for places like schools, where testing is really going to help guide, as well as sports teams. And then finally, the asymptomatic spread that's occurring in the community, it's just going to get out of hand again.
No more blindfold fighting that fire, people. Before we let you go, we want to make this clear for everyone at home. Would you, Dr. Coley, recommend getting tested if you might have been exposed, even if you have 0 symptoms?
100% yes. And in fact, I'm telling all my patients to keep doing what they were doing before. Many states have started now not taking the CDC guidance. And I would say we still need to do exposure testing, surveillance testing, and reassurance testing.
Dr. Coley.
Not that it matters, but I'm giving you a round of applause over here. No one cares what I think, but I'm glad you said it because I think testing is so important. I can't believe this message that we're getting from the CDC. So thank you for being here, Doc.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
It's only a matter of
Welcome back to DBL. She's finally here. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. Let's switch gears exactly. Let's lighten the mood. Have welcomed their daughter, Daisy Dove Bloom. Huh? Ah. The couple posted this photo of her tiny little hand. Katy had a daisy painted on her thumb, naturally. Katy's lead single from her new album is also called Daisies. Katy said she was floating with love and wonder after her daughter's arrival and described the birthing experience as peaceful. The only person on this panel that's had any birthing experience is you, Mr. Jeff. Peaceful, would you call it that?
This Leighton, my second child, was very peaceful. We played Bob Marley as he was being delivered. It was very peaceful in there. There was essential oils.
Whoa, Lynn.
Smells.
Lynn, what would you play if you were giving birth? Would it be Bob Marley? What would you play to have a peaceful experience?
When you just said Bob Marley, it reminded me of my mom's ringtone. She literally is the only person in America that still has a ringback tone, and it's Bob Marley. So I don't know what else to think besides that. But I don't know. That sounds really relaxing, Jeff. I have to think about that. It hasn't really been a huge thought.
Susan Granger, we love you. My dad's ringtone is Law and Order, the TV show.
Is that doo-doo?
And it goes,
Oh my God.
bum, 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 bum. And my mom's is Star Trek.
What's your ringtone? Not since we're totally off the subject.
Indiana Jones. Dun, 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 dun.
When was the last time you had your ringtone on?
Never. 3 years ago. 10 years ago. You?
It's embarrassing when people hear your
Right?
phone still playing songs.
Yeah, it's totally embarrassing. I have the Rolling Stones on there. Give me shelter.
Really?
Yeah, but because I never changed it. I just had it for 5 years.
Yeah, no
So
one's
every
ever-
time I hear that at a restaurant, I'm like, my ringtone. Like, I don't know. What's your ringtone, Liz? Since we're off the rails.
I like it.
Mine is some weird rap remix of the actual like.
That's right.
Never, I can't. No, I can't even explain it. It's very strange.
Hers is like the old school ringtone, but I've heard it, but it's remixed. It's like cool.
It's like the stock.
Yeah, like Nokia, but it's like oocha, oocha, oocha. It's really cool. Linz, I miss
like
you in
But
person.
also, like, congratulations to Katy Perry. Like, we went totally left over here. Finally, she had her baby.
You're totally right. We'll be right back with Theo Blast coming up next. It's a good name. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for some sweet, sweet deals. Earlier, Steph showed me some great products at even better prices. Here's this week's DBL Deal Blast, presented by MorningSave.com.
All right, Steph, what do you have for us today?
Now, this is perfect when you go on a trip. It's a perfect item to keep your precious gems safe and secure. It's the Croft Avenue Lunar Petite Travel Jewelry Case. It's got enough room for all your favorite jewelry in here. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
Now, normally this is $49, but we've got a very special deal today because it's only $15, which means you're saving 69%.
Wow.
Next, Tori, I've got something that's gonna add some lift and style to your hair. It's the Callista Original Triangle Heated Styling Brush. Now this smooths and straightens hair while promoting shine. Normally, this is $180, but we've got it for our viewers for $29, which means you're saving 84%. Now, I love going to the spa for facials, but let's be real, it can be very pricey, but no longer, Tori, not with this. The 24-pack Spa Life facial mask self-care assortment. So these masks are infused with specialized ingredients, so they soothe, restore, protect your skin. Now, normally a pack of face masks for a year, remember, we're talking $144, right?
Yep.
We've got it for $15. Are you ready? This is a big one.
Ooh.
Avalon Bay Air Fryer 2.6 quart convention oven. So it uses hot air instead of loads of oil to transform all of your favorite foods into crispy treats with little to no fat. And it's stainless steel inside, which means it's really easy to keep clean. Now, normally it's $130, but we've got it for $49, Tori, which means you're saving 62%.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Steph, thank you so much.
All right, well, we got a lot of comments from our conversation earlier, which I thought was really great. Robin from Facebook says, Jeff, your privilege is showing, but glad you asked. Much respect. Her answer is spot on.
I've accepted that.
Totally,
I've
and
accepted
you said
and
that.
I'd rather have people call me a bigot or think I'm racist and have the flip side and have that conversation. So I could deal with people's minds on social media. I'd rather talk to my friends about what's really going on. So
I love that. Robin said her answer was spot on. I love you all. Bernie says, I'd rather have him, Jeff, put himself out there and be the devil's advocate than not. D from Facebook says, Lindsay, well said, thank you so much. And Ken from Facebook wrote in and says, I don't agree with players taking a knee. I will leave the room until that's over. However, walking out, that will get more positive action, and I totally support that. Lindsay, I wanted to know if you had a response to that.
I think it was a good dialogue. That's what DBL is all about, right? We have real, authentic conversations, so I appreciate you both.
Dialogues, better listen. That's what it stands for. It doesn't. DBL is new every
Love you,
day.
Lids.
We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.